Yo, what's up, everyone? Today, it's going to be a quicker video. It's not going to be, 2.5 hours long or anything. This is going to be a bit of a precursor to something I'm actually trying to work on. Just to, dangle the carrot in front of you a little bit. I will possibly, maybe, sort of, be looking at some Tony Hawk-related mods in the future. As you may have figured out at this point, I'm very, very, very into the Tony Hawk games. I've been playing them since that Pizza Hut demo disc for you Americans out there. I've never stopped playing the Tony Hawk games, but, because I've been playing them, literally since before the first one even came out. Eventually, you want to play some mods, get something new and fresh going on, since the only somewhat relevant thing we've had is 1+2, and even then, well, we all kind of know what happened with a possible 3 and 4 remake. So, I play Tony Hawk mods, something I used to do more, and I'm kind of getting back into it now, rather than just sticking only to 1+2 or Underground 2 or something. And the thing is, I primarily play entirely on my Steam Deck at this point. I have the dock, I have it hooked up to my TV, or I'll play portably while watching something. So literally 99% of my hashtag gaming is done on my Steam Deck. So recently I decided to kind of stop being lazy about it and start copying over some of the Tony Hawk mods. That way I can play them on Steam Deck, right? So here's where this insanity started to unfold. Alright, I want you to bear with me. This is both a fun little story and, like I said, a bit of a precursor to something I'm actually trying to work on. And thirdly, most importantly, this is a cry for help, and I'm barely being facetious about it. I'm quite serious that I cannot for the life of me figure out what's going on. So, here's what's up. Between most of the other mods I've installed, I've had 0 issues, right? So I was trying, because I heard about this LevelMod for Pro Skater 3. Now, I'm old enough at this point that I remember I played, I believe it was the same mod technically. I could be wrong, because I think there was a splinter at some point for Pro Skater 3 mods, but regardless, I remember way back when with this crappy laptop I had, I played a very early iteration of a mod, at least like this, that added the oil rig from the Xbox port of Pro Skater 3 and then the cut Paris level and try to kind of fix it. And if you've seen anything on my channel, I love cut content. I love beta content. I've made videos about betas and stuff. Even when I was younger, I was still super into this stuff. So obviously, I kind of wanted to check out this new and improved LevelMod that was being worked on for years at this point, because I probably literally haven't checked this out in I don't know, probably 10 years or so, maybe a little longer, to be honest. So I was reading about this while I was out and about the other day. I don't know what I was doing, maybe dinner or something. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm gonna put this on the back burner, bookmark this, and start looking at it later. So my first step, just for pure laziness, is because I still have a Windows-based computer that I still use for all the YouTube stuff and music and whatever, I still use Windows for. If you happen to have an install of Windows, or even if you have an install of Windows on your Steam Deck, but you still primarily use Linux, you can be as lazy as installing a mod completely from scratch on Windows, copying that for a flash drive or something. Do people still call them flash drives? Well, a USB drive, thumb drive, thumb drive. Oh yeah. Copy those files, and then, put them in a folder. I have them in a folder on my Steam Deck called non-Steam. Then you can add it as a non-Steam game to Steam. I believe that's how you say it. If you go into desktop mode, I'll show you what I mean in case. This is going to be a bit of I'm trying to help people get to this point too, and or help them with other stuff. You can add as a non-Steam game. You can change what Proton version you're going to run it through. You can change your resolution, all that kind of stuff. Kind of like how a normal Steam game would work. And for the most part, it's pretty flawless. I don't want to get too into the details of it yet, because I kind of want to save that, like I said, for something else I'm working on. But everybody knows what Thug Pro is. It's not going to be a huge shocker if I talk about Thug Pro later. So if you have an install of that already on your Windows-based computer, just and you want to play on your Steam Deck, just copy the files, add as a non-Steam game. The only thing with that, you got to make sure that you find the compatibility folder that it makes when you add it as a non-Steam game and stuff, because that's technically like a virtual machine. You need your Thug 2 install, your Underground 2 install inside the compatibility folder of your Thug Pro VM, essentially. The easiest way you can do that is it's super simple. When you boot up Thug Pro, it'll be like, hey, can't find your Thug 2 install. Copy it from your non-Steam folder. Like I said, that's what I did. And then while you're in Thug Pro and it's asking you to find your install, you can literally just right-click, paste it somewhere, and then you can locate it that way. I didn't realize I could do that. I did that, couldn't find it. I'm like, whatever. I'll figure out where the compatibility folder is through, I think it's called Proton QT. I found the number for the compatibility folder. I went to go install it there, and I was like, oh, it's already there. So, for Thug Pro, for example, it's really not that hard. If you just follow what I said, or if you have any questions about it, because this is going to be a little bit of a back and forth kind of video. Like I said, a different video. And I know we're just staring at this LevelMod thing. Trust me, I'm getting there. So, first things first, I have to install my Pro Skater 3 copy, and this is why, and I've talked about it before, and I've talked about it pertaining to Tony Hawk before, but this is why I hate copyright and licensing stuff like this, and I understand at a certain point it is necessary. Obviously, I want, being a musical person, I want bands and musicians to get money for their work and stuff if we're talking about music copyright. But man, for preservation's sake, this stuff sucks. And a lot of times it's not really the musicians that are getting money from this. It's record labels and companies. Well, I don't know if things are a little different in, the current year, but at least maybe even 15 years ago is definitely that case. So this is why licensing stuff sucks, because realistically, I wish we could just buy Pro Skater 3 on Good Old Games or buy it on Steam or whatever. God forbid, maybe buy it on Epic. And then that way, mods like this and stuff can thrive and just live, and we could just play Pro Skater 3 and stuff. Because again, I'm huge for preservation. I think that should be very obvious at this point if you've seen anything that I've done. So you got to install your Pro Skater 3 file, right? Your files, rather. So you get your disc, right? You get your disc, you install it, right? And then, you got to make sure, in so many words, that, it's reading your CD of it, because I think the PC version is a CD, not a DVD. I'm pretty sure. So which is strange, considering obviously the DVD for the Xbox and PS2 ports, and then a mini DVD for the GameCube port. And obviously the PC version's the next gen version. It's not the last gen version, which I actually really like. I played a lot of Pro Skater 3 on the PS1 growing up, because that's the version we had or whatever. And then later I played the N64 port a lot, which is, I think, one of the last N64 games released, which is really cool. Last gen version is still very cool. I think that was Shaba. I want to say that was Shaba. I could be wrong. All versions, essentially, Pro Skater 3 are great. I'm not going to sit there and pretend it's my favorite Tony Hawk game. I honestly, I'd say that's torn between I really like Pro Skater 2, but I will admit, now that I've gotten so acclimated to higher level Tony Hawk stuff, I'm not saying I'm great. I'm not looking to start another feud or anything, but once I got acclimated to Underground 2, and especially 1+2, it is a little hard to go back and play Pro Skater 1 and 2, but I still think Pro Skater 2 is still kind of legendary if I can kind of let some of that higher tech go and just kind of play the video game as a video game. But overall, if I had to play a Tony Hawk game and I had to get rid of the rest of them, honestly, it probably would be 1+2. Underground 2 is very close though. Anyways, but I still want to play some Pro Skater 3, right? It's honestly been a while since I really dug into current gen Pro Skater 3, and by current gen, I'm talking about, what is the Xbox, PS2, GameCube? That's the 6th generation. Regardless, current gen Pro Skater 3, because I still mostly go back to the N64 port, because I'm psychotic like that. So I wanted to play this on my Steam Deck. Wanted to go through all these levels because this level mod's really cool. If you haven't heard of it, this level mod not only adds Pro Skater 1 and 2 levels, besides like Warehouse, Burnside, and Roswell already being in the current gen versions of Pro Skater 3. It adds all the other stuff, like 2x levels as well, and you can go to Skate Heaven and stuff. But then the even cooler part of this mod is that you can play on stuff like Pro Skater 4 levels, Underground levels, and Underground 2 levels, but like all in the Pro Skater 3 engine. I love stuff like that. I love interacting with it. I can't quite think of the phrasing for this, but I do really like interacting with newer content in an older game context. Stuff like I really love Smash Remix, and there's some like quote-unquote characters that were in later Smash Bros. Games that are, I wouldn't say they're backboarded because that team really kind of just did their own thing, but it is cool contextualizing something like Mewtwo in Smash Friends 64 and kind of like harkening back, but like using newer material. I'm sure there's like a word or a phrase for what I'm talking about, but I absolutely love this kind of stuff. Like backporting something essentially. So this mod sounds sweet. So here's the biggest issue up front. And my God, before I get into Pro Skater 3, I hope I muted the music on both my Steam Deck and and my Windows desktop. So there was this big Pro Skater forum that's like completely done. It's donezo. You might be able to read some of it through like Wayback Machine, I think through archive.org. But I remember using that site myself like 10 years ago, and that's where I got some of these mods and stuff. I think that's how I first saw like the Moto X level in Pro Skater 4. And I might have seen that through a Pro Skater 3 mod, actually. I can't quite remember. This is all stuff I want to talk about in the future, mind you. So this mod, the only place I can really find information about it is through this GitHub link. So let me circle back. I know I'm all over the place. That's kind of my thing. I hope you enjoy listening to me ramble and stuff. This is story time, right? So I go through all the trouble to get my Pro Skater 3 disc to work, and I can't, and I'm having trouble, a lot of trouble, right? So eventually I figure it out, and if I can't go too far into that kind of stuff, but eventually I figured out the Pro Skater 3 stuff. I wish I could talk about it more, but but from then on out, then I'm starting to try to follow this guide, right? And so this guide, and I really appreciate the people that put it together. This is no shade towards them. This is great that this is even preserved like this. This again, like if this wasn't up, I don't know what other guide I could have possibly found. So, can I? Do you need me to zoom in for you people? We got. How about that? Can you read that? This is great. You didn't really need to read what was going on before. So. Yeah, it's got playable levels from all these Tony Hawk games, optimizations, it's got different graphical settings and stuff like anti-aliasing. Like, it's really cool stuff here. So, I actually didn't even read this page. See, this is like, LevelMod settings, game options. Oh yeah, no, see, you can see all this kind of stuff. And like some of it's pretty in depth stuff. Like look at this. This is probably the biggest part. If you just care about, is there can I see levels? No, but you can have 3D grass. Point being, it's got like pretty much every level up until Underground 2. It might be missing some like console specific stuff, but it's a lot of levels. And Tony Hawk is made from its levels, not necessarily its skaters. So it's like, the equivalent of a fighting game character, each level. So first things first, install the game, get your 1.01 patch. And even then, that was kind of tricky because I wasn't quite sure how this 1.01 patch was installing. I put it in my install folder and ran it, and like nothing seemed different in my first install, and I think it actually wasn't working properly. Can't tell you what changed because I ended up reinstalling everything, ran the patch again, and then I saw the files for the patch pop up. Don't know what changed. So here's the thing. You need older versions of this level mod, right? So this is where things get a little tricky. You gotta install the older versions and the lost levels part of this older mod, which is like, I think, the same mod, but a separate section of it to like re-add stuff like Paris and Oil Rig. I believe that's what the Lost Levels mod was doing. I think that Lost Level mod was essentially what I was using, 10 plus years ago or whatever. So I wanted to check out the Paris level. So then you gotta find that file, you gotta remove it. Great, got it. Then you download their files from this GitHub page, and then you install those. They shouldn't, like they say right here, it shouldn't require you replacing any existing files. Make sure you have Visual Studio Redistribution x86 2019. That's going to be my new song name when it comes out. Make sure you have that installed. That's just like, to run the game. That's nothing to do with the mod, I believe, unless I'm missing something. So, and then I think this is online related stuff. So, I think, is this like some sort of anti-cheat? I don't know. Clearly, I don't know enough half the time. And then, you can get rid of this DLL file. And I think this may be where I'm having some troubles, but I'll get into that. So, you can delete that and then just run it like base game. So, and I added this widescreen patch. And as far as actually using proper controls, I'm just mapping it on my Steam Deck as a keyboard, because it does not want to read D-pad stuff. It doesn't want to read the triggers. It's whatever. On Windows, use a keyboard to controller program or try... I think that's actually what this does. But I don't really plan on playing on Windows. So there's the thing. That's a bit much, and I feel like, for some people that might be a little bit out of their depth, because you have to install older versions of the mod first before you install the newer version. It's not the cleanest thing in the world, but I doubt that's their fault. I'm pretty sure this is probably just how it has to be. So I did all that, and like I said, the first time I'm trying this, I'm not getting it to work. Second time, I'm having some graphical issues and stuff, and then I finally figured everything out. I got it running in widescreen. I got the controls at least somewhat working on Windows. I knew I was going to remap it on Linux anyways. So here's where we're going to get into the, oh my god, I don't know what's going on part. So this is probably going to mess with the resolution on the capture a bit, but like I said, this is more of a quick and dirty video. So give it a second. Oh my god. Okay, that music shouldn't be copyrighted. I think we're good on that part. I think. I think that's just Pro Skater 3 menu sounds. So here's the thing. We got Pro Skater 3 here, right? LevelMod build, 4.80. LevelMod 2013, 2020. So my 10 years or so is probably correct in my thinking that it was probably more so 11 years ago, probably when this mod just started. So here's what you do. So you want to play this and stuff. You want to play the cool levels. I literally am going to try to play this on my keyboard for a second. So let's say we're going to play as the Hawk Dude himself, even though, no, we're not. We're, like I said, I haven't done anything with this. Where's my man, the legend, Chad Muska? Okay, got to play with the numpad here. So we go into play level, right? And here's this sweet menu, right? So, all the Pro Skater 3 levels are locked because I haven't played the game. But see, you got Pro Skater, you got... Oh, wait, what's miscellaneous? Oh, yeah, Paris, Moto X. So this is... Okay, not all Pro... Oh, because I have to unlock the Pro... Right, that's cool. So, say we want... Okay, we're going to go to... Yeah, we'll go to Australia and Pro Skater. This is so cool. And look at this. We got Australia in the Pro Skater... Oh, my God. This control configuration is the worst thing ever. Oh, my God. I don't even know how to... Wait, how do I revert? Oh my god. Oh, this is awful. Man, I should try to play through a Tony Hawk game like this. This is... Oh my god. But this is really cool, right? And just for funsies. I do want to talk about it more later, but if anybody hasn't seen, oh my god, what am I doing? Like I said, this I want to talk about more later. But, we go into Paris... And here's some of the cut Paris level and stuff, kind of functional. Like I said, I'm just gonna be a little bit of a tease. This is something I want to talk about more later. I don't even know how to oh my god, I can't do anything. But this, again, this is super cool. As a huge Tony Hawk fan, this is one of the coolest things ever. So that's how this mod's supposed to work. The newest version of this mod that exists. And oh my god, can I do it? Oh my god, that was actually almost impressive like this. Okay, I'm getting lost in the sauce a bit. Okay, so that's how this mod's supposed to work, right? So now, if you don't mind, let me go back to my desktop for a second, because you need to see the files, right? So we're going to, yes, this is called For Real, and there is a very real reason. I was just you can see my THPS3 problem folder. I'm getting into this. So here's all the files, right? So everything, you got the Skate 3 executable, that's what actually launches the game, blah, blah, blah. That's the only way I can see to actually run the game. Like, the setup and stuff doesn't actually run it, the launcher doesn't run it. It's this executable. So, LevelMod, we got all that stuff. We got the DLL file right here. We got the widescreen script right here, all of that. So, that's all that. This is important for later, too. If we open up the widescreen fix, you can see Fix HUD is on. So, let's get over to my Steam Deck. Okay, so this is going to be really hard for me to control because I'm staring through OBS right now. I don't have my other monitor up. So I've got like two mouses, two mice. I got a Bluetooth keyboard hooked up to this right next to my normal desktop keyboard. This is a mess, this setup. So if you look here, I have all the same files. If we look at, trust me, the HUD thing's important. If we look at, I already closed it. Just believe me, the HUD fix. You know what? No, don't believe me. I'm not asking you to just. my Bluetooth keyboard takes a second to turn back on, which is understandable. Note. Oh my goodness. Note. I know it's not called Notepad, but it pops up. I'm showing my Windows usage. So let's just very expertly drag and drop this into here, and if you look. HUD fix on. It's enabled. Is that what that says? This window's so tiny for me. So anyways. So we got that going on, right? So let's get back to skate3.exe. Now, first things first, I did find... Oh, let me get back to Windows for a second. Obviously, one of the first things I did was find... Like, I always Google this for stuff, or ProtonDB or whatever. ProtonDB doesn't talk about older stuff like this. Like, okay, running Pro Skater 3 on Steam Deck, Linux, whatever. So found somebody on Reddit that linked this quick guide they wrote talking about essentially renaming video files so that it doesn't crash because it can't read those codecs. I don't know if I could fix that through like Proton QT, Wine Tricks, whatever you want to call it. And then these launch parameters. So I think this is talking about reading that input for the widescreen thing, because when I didn't have it, it was not widescreen. It was 4:3. So this should not be affecting anything that I'm about to explain. And they essentially just said the same thing, like just rebind your controller as a keyboard. This is great, very helpful. All of this. I can leave links to this in the description. I will probably do that. So, just before I started recording this, I just made sure that removing that didn't affect my problem. It did not. So, just so everybody's on the same page, because like I said, at the end of the day, this is a call for help. Okay, so let's go back to Steam Deck. Okay. So, I know I'm in desktop mode, but that's just so I can show you what's going on. It's not going to change too much of my problem. Okay, I got everything. Skate 3 EXE. I got it running through, let's see, I got it running through GE Proton 9 points. Can I check through desktop mode? I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Okay, 9-4. There might be a new version. No, I better check later. 9-4. Right? So, we're gonna play the game. My controller's not even on. This game also seems to have a really cool feature. If your controller gets disconnected, it seems to stop working entirely. Don't know what that's about, but we're not gonna work. Or was that a different issue I was at? Don't worry about it. Okay, so we're gonna launch Skate 3. Skate 3. Wish there was a PC port of Skate 3. So. Okay. Oh, same thing. I better get rid of this music right now. Like I said, I don't think that music's copyrighted, and if it is, So help me. Okay. So here's, first of all, the HUD. I don't know what's happening with the HUD. It might be back to working because it wasn't working properly. It was all shifted. But if you notice, we have a very peculiar issue. I don't think I can run my mouse over it now. Wait, oh, there we go. Can you see? This is my Steam Deck mouse, right? Yeah, it is. So it's saying that I'm running version 0.00. And it's like the first iteration of the mod, kinda, but then this says 4.20, while the other one was like, oh my god, I forgot to look at it. It was a higher version, right? Well, we have the technology. We'll go back into Windows for a second. And run. Oh my god, what's the confirm button? Okay, see, I think if I hit quit, it's just gonna quit the game. No, it's not. Okay. Oh, this doesn't even say, like... Oh, it says level build on the side there. It says 4.80 instead of 4.20, as I think what the other one said. So let's get back to... Now we're on Linux again. So, older version, way older version. Controller just disconnected. That's awesome. So, going to Freeskate, right? I'll keep this as Tony Hawk so we're not getting confused what's running on what. Freeskate. Play level. Okay, the problem, this is the older version of the mod. So this is like one of the first iterations of it. So as you see, Pro Skater 3, like, it works. It runs. It's doing the stuff that it needs to do. This is great. So, here's what's so wild to me. What on earth is going on to make it not, like, it's accessing... There's so much input lag for OBS like this. So it's... Oh, see how, like, shifted the HUD is? I don't know why. The HUD fix is on, and the HUD was proper before. I changed nothing. I swear, I don't think I did. And somehow the HUD stopped working properly. So, here's what makes no sense to me. I understand... That's really funny. That's hilarious, actually. Okay, don't fall off a level. So, I'm gonna... Oh my... I'm hovering my Windows mouse cursor over. This is such a mess. So, yeah, so we boot into it and stuff. And it's the old version. Oh my god, the music's back. I gotta save it. Just in case. We're saving that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so... It's like one of the first iterations of the mod. And I don't understand how that can be from just running it on Linux. I don't know what part of, like, Proton or whatever would cause this to happen. My only guess is that it's not... Like, I probably have to point it towards a specific DLL file or something. So I feel like I had to do that with, like, another mod for something I was running. Maybe 1+2 stuff. I don't actually remember. So yeah, here's where my knowledge is starting to run thin. I was looking into this a bit last night, but it's getting a bit late. And I kind of, as much as I like to figure out everything before I just go to bed, I can't always do that. So I did try running Proton tricks, and I tried to install some codecs and stuff like that. But I was also having issues installing the codecs without errors. Just trying to figure out what on earth is going on here. I love how shifted that HUD is too. So I just want to make sure everything's clear. So all my steps laid out. Here's what's happening. Then I tried to post about this on the Steam Deck subreddit. I don't really post on Reddit ever, but I do read way too much on Reddit. Maybe like my... quote-unquote Reddit karma is too low or something because my post got removed. I made sure my like I wasn't using any bad words or talking about any bad things. I was just like, please help, and explained everything, gave screenshots and stuff. That's what my THPS3, if we go back to my Windows desktop now, I had this all prepped because I didn't want to be that guy going to a forum and not having any screenshots or anything going on. So I made this beautiful collage. We got, oh wait, that's not the first. So we got WinThips1 showing what's happening on Windows, right? Windows, just showing the level select and stuff. Then I had showing what was happening on Linux, got the red circle and arrow and everything. And then I showed that it's just going straight to this. And just showing that I was trying to show that the level mod was working, but like not completely. More like, and then even put it all into one picture, 1, 2, 1, 2. That way you can kind of see what's going on here. I could not post on the Steam Deck subreddit. I'm sure there's some reason why I couldn't. And that was like because I don't think like one of the Linux help subreddits is really exactly what I'm looking for, because that seemed more like help for just Linux computing in general. I don't think they're going to know or care to answer my Tony Hawk problem, or even if they know how to fix it to begin with. And then I posted on the Pro Skater subreddit, but again, I'm not expecting these people to have any idea what I'm talking about. Or like, not that. No, I'm not calling people dumb. More like, this is such a niche, very specific, very silly problem, just because I refuse to play on anything that's not my Steam Deck anymore as far as PC gaming. So that's where we're at. That's what's going on. So here's my plea and my call to action or whatever. So maybe I need to run a certain parameter, look for a certain DLL file. That is, I don't know how to do that. I'm still learning. There's still a bunch of things I need to learn. So if you know how to do that, maybe I need to point it towards this DLL file. Maybe it's not seeing that DLL file, and then maybe the older mod didn't need that DLL file. Honestly, maybe... Well, I didn't know it was going to have this kind of problem, because nothing else I've done has had this kind of problem before. This is so strange and so specific. So maybe I need to point towards that DLL file. Maybe the older version didn't have that DLL file or didn't need it. I should have maybe done this step by step and ran it each time. But like I said, I didn't really think I was going to need to do that when I had zero issues with other related mods and stuff. So if you are a Linux user, Linux user, or Steam Deck user, since it's like the same thing, and you have tried something similar yourself, I know, like, I don't know if I'm the first person to try to use this LevelMod on Linux. I wouldn't be surprised. This is such a niche case scenario, and specifically, you know, the Steam OS. I think that's what you call that build of Linux. So if you have any idea what's going on here, how to point me in the right direction, any suggestions, tips, anything, or questions yourself, maybe I'm missing something here, or maybe you have a question about installing something, because I want to talk about the Steam Deck more on the channel. I don't really usually have a reason to, but I do love portable computers. I had a first generation IA Neo before Steam Deck and stuff. Like, I love this stuff. I love portable consoles and portable computers especially. So if you need any help, I'll try to help you too, because this is, you know, a two-way street. But this is insane. This is maddening. I have never encountered something like this before, and I have no idea why it's doing this. This is insane to me. So if you have any ideas what's going on or any more questions, please let me know. I'll have a more normal video in the future, but this is just like, it's kind of a ridiculous and humorous story, but also I'm losing my mind, and I don't know how to fix this. So, if this is somehow the first thing you see on my channel, I make normal videos. I swear. Don't leave. Alright. With that, I'm not going to ask if you enjoyed this, because I don't think I particularly enjoy this insane problem that makes zero sense to me. But if you enjoyed this video, that's great. Please stick around for more normal videos. And if you somehow are the one in a million person that knows or has a guess on how to solve my problem, please let me know. This is the one time I'm going to be like, share this information around. I don't like asking people to do that. I don't care. If you're going to watch my video, you're going to watch my video. This isn't about watching the video. This is, I need somebody to help me with this. I'm desperate. I'm so desperate. That being said, it is what it is. I will see you guys later.